This was different for me because it was all put together on tour. There just wasn't time, like there has been in the past, to go to Nashville or Austin or you know, the writing rooms or a lot of studio time. It needed to be done on tour because that's where we were. We were gone the whole year. That made it unique for anything I've ever done because I was making music, creating music on what I call the front lines of country music, right there in the towns of our tour, in the venues where our people were going. A lot of the writing was done right there on the bus, more so than in the hotels. You know, I have a little studio set up so I could write, record. We recorded the big tracks, the big studio stuff in Nashville like we've done in the past, but we only used 3 days. And that was to get the big drums and bass and the guitar amps and things like that. But I sang all the vocals at home in Austin, Texas in the closet, and then everything else was done on the road. It wasn't obvious right at the beginning. We had a different working titles, several different working titles, leading up to right on the last day that we could possibly change anything. I got together with my brother, who's my manager, and we were just talking about it, and suddenly it kind of occurred to us that When the Good Guys Win is a good theme for all the songs. If you put them all together, there's a lot of messages about living for today and celebrating the good guys. Still don't know why it wasn't more obvious before the last possible day, but when it was obvious, it then seemed like there was no other option. It was always the option. You know, if I trace it back to the beginning of this album, this all began December 2nd, 2016. I fell off the stage in New Jersey, broke 2 ribs, and one of them punctured a lung. And that put a lot of things in perspective for me. And it's the first time I could ever remember being forced to stay on the couch. I slept on the couch, I had to sit on the couch for 3 weeks straight. It's always about the next tour, the next album, the next single, the next whatever it is in your business. And for me, on December 2nd, there was no tomorrow. Everything stopped. It all became about every breath. That was, you know, hard to breathe with the punctured lung, and every breath mattered. And I thought to myself back then, I'll never take for granted a breath of air again. Enough of going through that and enough hours going by, and I had a lot to think about of living for today. That's really what began the process of this album and the whole thought that I began preaching to my band instantly. Let's stop worrying about the next tour, because everyone's going, who are we touring with next year? Where are we going? And I had to say, hey, we have today, we have tonight, we have this great venue we're about to play. Let's think about that. There's moments on this album that are taking a step for me, melodically, lyrically, sonically. And then there's a couple songs that are kind of throwbacks for me. One of them that I think about is called Still Holds Up. It's very much a Granger song of 10 years ago, maybe more. I love being able to deliver that message of what still holds up to me, but also deliver it in a melody that feels very throwback for me. Then there's a song called Everybody Lives that really encompasses the theme of this record of everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And I haven't sang that live yet, but I will. And I'm excited for what that could be able to bring to an audience for something that someone that may really need to hear that at the time. And that's impactful that music could do that. After the accident, I promised that I look a little more at my feet and where I'm stepping. We do talk about having a little bit more stage safety. Don't just climb on anything. There was a time in the old days when I never crossed my mind. I just wanted to put on the craziest show possible. But after feeling the pain of a couple broken ribs, I think twice where I step now.